Dr. Al Galves explains how we might use anger as a positive outcome.
I'm making an assumption, that these emotions have to be useful. Now, one of the reasons no problem. One of the reasons I know this is that I believe in evolution. Now, I don't know how many of us here believe in evolution. Some people believe in evolution, some people don't. But if you believe in evolution, this organism, us, these organisms that are in this room, the 6 of us, the 7 of us, we've been evolving over 30 million years. There have been organisms like us on the planet for 30 million years. And if these emotions were not useful, they would have been wiped out long ago by natural selection. So they have to have survival value. They have to help us live. So it's just a matter, come on in, it's a matter of figuring out how to use them. Say, now if you don't believe in evolution, let's suppose you believe in creation. Creationism, what's called creationism. And I guess you could say, well, why would God create an organism and give it an ability to feel things or an ability to experience emotions that wouldn't be useful? That wouldn't be nice. Now, some people, I suppose, believe that there are parts of us that were created by God and there are parts that are created by the devil, and that there's this battle going on. And I don't really have an answer for that one. I guess then you'd say maybe emotions are the work of the devil and we ought to get rid of them. But let's assume that somehow these feelings that we call negative because they're dangerous and they're uncomfortable and they're shameful, some of them are shameful in our society, let's assume that they're useful. So then we got to ask the question, well, how would they be useful? So let's take a look at them. Let's take a look at the first one on the list, or anger. Now, how is anger useful? What's the use of anger?
It's a release.
It can be a release, okay? Yeah, anger. If you use the energy in it to do something, it can be a release. Any other ideas on how anger would be useful?
I think it can help you get what you want. If you are very assertive with somebody with your anger.
It can help you get what you want, right? Because what anger does is tell you what you don't like. It tells you what you don't like, what you want to get rid of, what is threatening you, what you want to deal with, because it tells you that's threatening me. Now I want to say a few words about threaten. I believe that the human beings are born with some really powerful drives. We're born with them. I mean, it's hardwired. We come out of the womb with these drives. What are the drives? Some of the drives. Well, we have the drive to survive, so to eat, to sleep where we want to sleep, to be safe, to be secure. We have those powerful drives. Now, we also have a drive, I think, a couple of them that are interesting and really important. One is to love. We have a powerful drive to love the way we want to love. Love our friends, our spouses, our lovers, our kids, our parents, our friends, right? And we also have a powerful drive to express ourselves the way we want to express ourselves, to work, to use our abilities, our ability to think, to build things, to create, to do art, to talk, to think, to solve problems. We have a powerful drive to do these things. And anything that gets in the way of you being able to do that, to love the way you want to love, and work and express yourself the way you want to express yourself, it's going to be a threat to you. You're going to feel like a threat. And you're going to get angry. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. I'll give you an example. When my kids were growing up, I realized at one point that every time there was good news for my kids, my wife gave it to them. You're going to go to camp. Oh, you just won an award. You got picked on the softball team. And always my wife would give the kids the good news. And I found myself thinking, wait a second, I want to give the kids some good news. And so I was a little bit angry about it. I was resentful, maybe you call it. But I brought it up with her and I said, Nancy, I'd like to tell the kids when they have good news, some. And she understood. But it's a good example of getting what you want, right? Now, most of you have worked at jobs, right? And you know that if you're working at a job and your boss, for instance, never gives you the good assignment, or doesn't appreciate what you do, or doesn't give you an opportunity to do the work you want to do, you're going to get angry. And you're going to be upset. We use different words for this. We use frustration, upset, irritated, angry, but it's the same thing. It's, I don't like what's going on. I want to stop it. I want to get rid of it. So it's very important to know this. I use the example for anger. I use the example of O.J. Simpson and Martin Luther King. And I think O.J. Simpson used his anger to ruin his life, which is absolutely amazing because O.J. Simpson had everything a man could want. And I use O.J. Simpson as an example of the fragility of human beings. Because having everything a man could want, he threw it all away. I know he got away with it, but his life is lost. He's a lost man. Martin Luther King took anger. He was very angry about what was happening in the South, about the oppression of black people, about slavery and its legacy. And he took it and used it to build a wonderful movement that made a big difference. You know, so they both are angry, but they use it in different ways. So all of these have a message that can be very useful to us, and most of them give us energy to do something. So that's the trick.